Hello! Hi there. My name is John Harris. I've been brewing here in Oregon for 26-ish years, if you count the year I've been working on my project. I started brewing back in '86 for the McMenamin chain, when they had one brewery, the Hillsdale Brew Pub, and then I did that with those guys for a couple years, slugging through malt extract brewing and finally talking the owners into going to all grain brewing, which was a miraculous day for us. And then went over to the Deschutes Brewery in '88 to help open that brewery. I was the first brewer there. Spent 4 years with those guys, then did 20 years for Full Sail brewing in Portland in their Portland plant. So then for the last year and a quarter, I've been in process of getting my own brewery, Ecliptic, started, and it's been a long journey, you could say. So it takes a lot more time than you think it will. But I really wanted to get back into the, like I said, with the restaurant connected concept where we could work with the chef and work with the brewer and really work on a really good food program to really elevate the food program, versus just doing kind of a run-of-the-mill quote unquote pub fare. We're really looking to do something different here. Mm-hmm. So for me, the best model was to go with the brewery restaurant model. Mm-hmm. For me, a lot of people think I'm crazy. Like, why you open a restaurant? They cost so much money. It's like, yeah, but if they're run properly, you can make money in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I think that with all the beer tourism comes to Portland, which is a lot, providing that place to eat also is, I think, important. So that's why I'm doing both. So, well, as you can see, we have a really big space here. We have 14,000 square feet. 3,000 of that will be taken up by the restaurant and kitchen. Mm-hmm. And then that pretty much leaves another 10,000 square feet or so for growing the production side of it. So we definitely will be producing packaged product, kegs first, but then getting into bottling. Like, we will have a holiday bottle of some type this year for Christmas, solstice, Hanukkah time. That'll probably be the first bottle we do. Well, the ecliptic plane is the path of the planets around the sun. So all the planets, if you look in the sky, follow this certain spatial plane around the sun. So so that relates to my idea of the seasonality of what I want to do in the place, between the seasonality of the food, local fresh, time of year, and the same thing with the beers, just to be more seasonally oriented about the beers. We're not going to have a good Russian stout in the middle of summer because it just doesn't make sense. To the stout drinkers who are out there who will drink stout year round, of course, they want that. But, for the idea, though, is really to kind of tie in the seasons, tie in our journey around the sun as our planet works its way around the sun, which is what it's doing right now. We don't really realize that. But we are in a place through space. And so the idea is to kind of play off the fun part of where we are on the ecliptic plane in a given year. We'll have a thing in the restaurant which will show us where we are on our path around the sun in any given month. So you actually go, oh, we're over here now. And like right now, we're the furthest from the sun as we'll ever get a couple of weeks ago. And then we're heading back, getting closer now. So, so the idea is to kind of play off that. Astronomy is a hobby of mine. And so I kind of decided that I want to come up with an astronomy-themed name for the brewery. Mm-hmm. And we vetted many, many names, and Ecliptic came through. But I thought people might have a problem with spelling a little, or pronouncing it, like elliptic. Mm-hmm. But I think once they actually can see that, just C, it's actually ecliptic. And for all of you out there in business school, brewing school here, is you got to think about trademarks. Mm-hmm. And this is a very clean mark. And there's 2 other businesses that use it in America. Mm-hmm. And they have nothing to do with beer or food or wine or spirits. The designer has some ideas. We want to make sure it's going to be a very modern feel, not a very woodsy, pubby feel, more of a new school, modern kind of look to it, brighter colors, more lively kind of that way. So I really want to see more fun, lively space versus dark and melancholy or something like that. So, but we'll have the light fixtures are going to be designed. The one above the bar will be a circle with the planets represented as far as glass domes as lighting, and then the planets in the dining room will be a 52-foot long fixture through here. That'll be basically the analemma. We're going to kind of try to bring those couple astronomical elements in, but other than that, it's kind of just be nice colors, and there'll be some other features, but just to leave it all. So there might be some constellations in the walls a little bit and things like that. So we'll try to bring the astronomy thing in, but not make it feel like it's dated in 2 years or something like that. You're like, oh, that was really clever, but now it's kind of out of touch. But I mean, so I've been working. I left Full Sail in April of 2012, and here we are in July of 2013, and I thought I'd be open now for at least 6 months or 7 or 8, even 9 months. I thought that I had landlords calling me before I even left my job after I gave notice, saying, I got a building for you, I got a building for you. And I thought, oh, this is just going to be sweet, just raise the rest of the money. Good luck. And, and then get this location and build it out. And what I found is that, you really got to really identify what kind of space you really need, and you got to think about how much room you really need. You think you need more room than you think you do, because at some point you're going to kick yourself that you didn't take that 2,000 square feet more, take on that maybe a little bit more lease, just because in a brewery you're going to run out of room very quickly. So I looked for, I basically got into about 3 or 4 different negotiations, 3 seriously, with potential landlords, and then had those deals basically after spending money on architectural to make sure that you could do what you want to do in the building, because there's city codes and county codes and all that stuff. And then had them kind of like change the deal or decide to sell the building to somebody else, or come back. One guy came back with like, oh yeah, by the way, I need 50,000 security deposit and I need 10% of your gross. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What? Where was that? This is after you've already gone through all this letter of intent and all this, basically you've wasted. So you take yourself off the market when you get these serious negotiations, and so another 2 months goes by before you know it. So don't underestimate the amount of time it's going to actually, you're going to have to take to find your site, and to find the right site for the right lease, the right size, the right terms. I ended up in this really large space, at 14,000 square feet, which is 4,000 more than what I was looking for. But my lease the lease here is better than in most of the 10,000 square foot buildings I was looking at. So I'm actually paying less for more. So that's why I ended up with a bigger building. And that's actually a building I can grow into for years to come. I'll never have to move.